Bienvenue à Volta Region, la région de Volta. On est à Avatime aujourd'hui. Il est beau et puis très froid ici. Aujourd'hui, on m'a mené ici pour introduire un chef de village à Avatime. Osie Adza Tekpor VII. Welcome to GOSA GH TV. My name is Antonia Krapa Asari. We are here today to talk to the paramount chief of Avatime traditional area, Osie Adza Tekpor VII. Osie Adza Tekpor VII, you are welcome to GOSA GH TV. Please, who is Harry Kwame Adobo?
Thank you very much. Thank you for welcoming to GOSA GH TV. And thank you also for this opportunity. First of all, let me congratulate George Ofori and Geo Sports for this wonderful initiative. I am privileged and I'm very happy, and I know that most of my sub-chiefs and many Avatime citizens also are happy about this initiative. Well, my full name private, as I always say, is Kwame Felix Harry Jamposu Adobo. Kwame Felix Jamposu Adobo. Jamposu is my grandfather's name. And then Kwame Felix Adobo is also the private name of Adza Tekpor V. And Kwame Adobo is a name of Adza Tekpor VI. So there are Kwames, and I'm Kwame Felix Harry Jamposu Adobo, combining my previous two predecessors' names together. I was born in Avatime, here, in this wonderful building. Then it was a thatch house, mud house. And I was told by my parents that I was born on the day that Adza Tekpor V passed on. And so, coming when a soul was passing on was a memorable occasion which had to be marked, and so the name Kwame Felix Adobo was given to me. And I know Felix is an English name. Harry is an English name. My parents were not able to pronounce Felix, because they were pronouncing it Felicity. But that is how far they could pronounce it anyway, and I appreciated that one very much, because it taught me something that I need to appreciate where I'm coming from. So I was born here, schooled in Dodimempeasem. Dodimempeasem is now in the Oti region. Then it was in the Volta region, Jaskan district, but now it's in Oti, KGB district. And I schooled there from class 1 to the university, until the time that I went for my national service. So I spent most of my formative years in Dodimempeasem, and I'm happy to announce that my soul and my spirit is attached to the Mempeasem. Our parents or our forefathers were calling that place a Hamanso. Yes, so that was where I schooled. From primary school, we didn't have kindergarten or day nursery at the time. I went to secondary school at the age of, I don't know, but around 14 or 15 when I passed the common entrance. I was 11 at Form 1. So I went to the age of about to secondary school about 13 years, yes. Yeah, so I went to Bishop Eman College, and from there I went to University of Ghana, Legon. That is where I completed my university in 2 degrees, linguistics and Russian. So Kwame Adobo, or Kwame Felix Adobo, is a humble person that has been brought forth in the royal house. So that is me.
Okay, thank you very much. To build a stronger Avatime youth movement. Can you please tell us something about that?
Grandparents tell us that it is a youth that are the oil of a society, and and some other phalanxes, they say that the youth are the legs of the older people. And so when you have a generation of youth in your community, they need to be orientated or educated to take over from the elderly people, because we say that they are the future of our society. And so, coming onto the throne, my focus has been to empower the youth and to let them into some of those things that I also learned when I was a younger person, because they are going to take over from us, because we are told they are the future leaders of every society. They are the future doctors, the future teachers, the future chiefs, the future farmers. And so it behoves on some of us who are leaders to identify with them. Because I have realized over the 10 years that I've been around as a paramount chief of Avatime that before them, government did not have any youth policy for the country that we can derive youth programs from. And so we would have to work hard to orientate the youth so that they become useful citizens in our society. So I decided that I should help mold the youth. I should help mold the youth to become what we want for Avatime. Initially, I sought to set up some development committees in Avatime. Those development committees, I was going to populate with the youth who are skilled people in Avatime. So we have development committees like for finance and fundraising, development committees of water and sanitation, infrastructure, development committees for security, you know. The idea is to tap the youth the minds of the youth, so as to bring them closer to the development program. So I try to put them in a situation where they would contribute towards the development of Avatime. And so I got together a number of young men to sensitize them into believing that they have a role to play in the development of Avatime. So when the opportunity came up that George Ofori approached me that they wanted to form a youth movement in Avatime, I jumped at it and gave him the blessing that he should go ahead and form the Youth Action Group. That was not welcomed by a lot of our citizens because they argued that there are development associations in every town. And so there will not be a need for us to form. The development association are supposed to be youth development associations, right? So there will not be need for them to form another parallel group of youths in the traditional area. I did not agree with them because we needed, our elders say that, and like they make blank they chew. Leloso lia pensi bloya sole kukaba lipui kukaba ozekon ni blo kedame ebolame oto tretre la ebolame ainsi kita hun se be kusa be trol puito se be de ya sole ko atani akona na wa leloso lia hiansi ki akwepa po to ba che bia zo be de krito poni. So that was the reason behind encouraging the formation of the Avatime Action Group, because I believe that the youth have a lot of things to offer if properly guided, if properly sensitized, if properly given the opportunity. Also contribute to us. So that's the reason why I thought that yes, it's an opportunity for me to encourage the youth.
Okay, thank you. We also heard you are working seriously about afforestation. Please tell us some things more about that.
You know, when anybody who comes to Avatime gets excited about the greenness of Avatime, and the vegetation of Avatime, everybody gets excited about it. You know, that is something that God has given us, and as a paramount chief, I will not overlook that and decide to start doing anything apart from making sure that the environment is protected. Of course, Mother Earth is Mother Earth because of the environment, and our vegetation in Avatime is something that is our asset as the people of Avatime. So we need to protect it, we need to and project it and celebrate it. I am not very happy about the spate of tree felling or chainsaw operation in Avatime. The chainsaw operators have deliberately and wickedly evaded our forests to the extent that they are changing the vegetation of Avatime. Of course, these chainsaw operators are also crying for livelihood. So I will be the last person to stop anybody's livelihood. So instead of discouraging them too much, I decided that I would also embark on tree planting exercises to support the tree plantations in Avatime. And so, together with an international NGO, started by one of our own, but not from the traditional area, we decided that we're going to start a nursery. We would nurse seedlings, very special seedlings that will nurse for planting in areas where the trees have been taken away. One will ask, or someone will ask, why plant trees in a forest area? Because already the area is forested. The forest contains trees that are medicinal, trees that bring animals and birds into the environment, trees that regenerate the environment, and so that there is a balance. And some of those trees are so important that they are the source of other food sources. Like presently, I can assure you that the amount of, or the number of snails that Avatime produces when the rainy season begins has gone down. The number of times that our women and our children would, at the beginning of rainy season, rush into the forest to harvest mushrooms is dwindling, because the chainsaw operation, the use of chemicals in our forest are all destroying the vegetation. So I took it upon myself that as a way of regenerating our forest, I'll start afforestation and start the nursery that will nurse very special seeds for planting in our forest. So together with, then there is an international NGO called Extinction Rebellion, EXA. Extinction Rebellion is an NGO that is trying to help communities to rebuild their cultural and traditional ways of life, to re-link up with our ancestral homes and our ancestors and our vegetation. Extinction Rebellion is trying to educate the communities to take their destiny into their own hands, to protect their own culture, to protect their own tradition, to protect their own environment, and to protect their own way of life, and to improve upon their livelihood through their linkage with the society. Because God has put each tribe in a certain area for a reason. And so we in Avatime here, in the mountainous areas, God has decided to settle us here for a reason. Though our forefathers were warriors and they lived in the mountains, wherever they stayed, from Mesopotamia to southern Sudan, to southern Nigeria, to a hunter in the western region, they were always living in the forest and the mountains. So God has put us here to protect the environment, not to destroy it. And God has put us there as leaders of the communities also to help to protect the environment, not to destroy it. So it is my ancestral responsibility and God-given responsibility that I should also protect the environment and help protect the environment. And so I am also trying to regenerate the forest and plant trees. And I'm calling on all our chiefs. Blobe kusapite, they say that when the last tree dies, the last man dies. Because what I'm doing here is just an example for all the chiefs who also establish nurseries in their various communities, and make tree planting a culture for the younger generation. Also, Yaso to learn is square battle by leg, Baby nu Panat Kipasi, Extinction Rebellion champions. Kibaki Baseklegi, Isipapale Ebola Ale. So, Extinction Rebellion champions are also participating in the necessary situation that we are in just to reforest our environment. They are made up of primary school children, junior secondary school children, and then senior high secondary school pupils who are also helping us to establish the nursery.
Okay.
So yes, I love nature, and so I want, and nature and culture are indispensable. They work into each other because it's a nature that directs the cultural practices of a person, and the cultural practices of a person determines or describes the strength of that person. If you play down on your culture, you play down on God, what God has given you. If you play down your culture, you are destroying your identity. And Avatime people are gradually trying to destroy their culture and identity. First and foremost, because they don't see the importance of unity. Unity and understanding and cooperation helps build the environment, helps protect the environment. If you have a conflict in a community, you are destroying the fabric, the basic fabric of that community, the environment, because you will not come together to protect the environment. There will always be conflict. So I am trying to suggest to all the Avatime students home and abroad, as Avatime citizens home and abroad, that the fundamental of progress is the inculcation of the principles of unity in your culture. It is when you are united, then you can promote your culture and your tradition. And if your culture and tradition are ingrained in your mind, there is nobody that can come and tell you that you should think differently, you should think your culture. And that is a sad commentary of our life in Africa and in Ghana, where foreign cultures are dominating our daily activities. So I thank GO TV for this important initiative, that you should keep it up. Those of our people who are playing down on the strength of this geosports, using sports to promote our culture, should rethink their stand and support GO TV, because this is forget about who has started it, but the initiative is to promote a certain way of life and a certain kind of language. That's why I'm not very happy that you should put this thing in English. But I know our viewer will forgive me when I put in a little bit of Sidemi for our people to know. For you, the viewers, also to know that Avatime people have a very nice language, the language that you speak when you go to heaven. Because we are living in the mountains. The highest settlement point in Ghana is in Avatime.
Yes.
So when you are in your houses and you raise your hand, you touch God. So our language is close to God. So Avatime people who are not enthused about speaking their language should bow their heads in shame. Those people who don't want to come home and support the chiefs and their grandmothers and grandfathers and the widows in Avatime should bow down their heads in shame. Those of them also who say that because I'm there, they won't support Avatime, they should bow down their head in shame. I am blunt, and I want to say this thing. But I'm also proud that there are a number of Avatime citizens that are helping in the development of the Avatime land. Recently, the Avatime Union in the UK got together to donate hospital equipment to the clinics, the 4 clinics that we have in Avatime. Fantastic idea. But I thought that this was long overdue. They should have done it 5 years ago. Should have done it 10 years ago. Should have done it 20 years ago. I'm sure our forefathers and big brothers who were before us did a lot of things. I mean, those days, we were proud to be student union members because we came back from school, from holidays. We are happy to return home to help. But these days, our young boys, and I blame the parents, those of them who have pitched camp in their cities and in their homes, because they want their children to speak English. I don't blame them. But I'm encouraging all of you who are watching me, if you are a lover of Avatime, to tell your friends who are Avatime citizens to teach you Avatime language and culture. Because it's the language of people who will be going to heaven. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, Osie. Bushfire is now a problem in Ho West. Please, what is Avatime doing about it? Because this is really encouraging people from farming.
Well, there is a saying in every language that nuvevi nu helevevi na veve zeme o danelena. So those of our people who are complaining about bushfires should also take it upon themselves to prevent bushfires. They shouldn't blame other people that they are starting. They know where the bushfire comes from. My principle and wish is that we should live in peace with our neighbors in the other traditional areas so that together we can fight bushfires. That is my suggestion to the Avatime people, that they know where the bushfires are coming from always. When it's getting to the time of the bushfires, what would they have to do? They have to prepare themselves and link up with the other traditional areas where the bushfires are coming from and see how we can fight bushfires, because we have come to accept that bushfires rage every year, so it is normal thing. No, it's not normal. It's not normal. And so what we are doing, as I mentioned earlier, that I want to live in peace with my neighbors in the traditional area. This year, I have put it upon myself. And before I made it known to a number of my colleagues, chiefs, that we'll sit down and dialogue and see how together we can prevent bushfires in the whole West District. Fortunately, I am the president of the Congress of Paramount Chiefs and Queens of whole West District, and we have quarterly meetings. That is one of our agenda programs, activities this year, to begin to sensitize our communities and prevent the bushfires. Of course, we pray to God that it doesn't come. But those who set the bushfires are human beings. They live in our communities. There are theories about people who are hunters who go and set fires on these things, and people who are palm tappers. Those were arguments of the past. Now, where the bushfires are coming from, they are in the mountains, and our farms are there. So if we know that that is where the bushfire is coming, what we need to do as citizens, citizen vigilantes, is for us to watch out and be ready, because a bushfire starts with a spark. And when we monitor our forest and we see a spark coming, we prevent it before it becomes a conflagration. But if we wait, as we normally do, that you are not, you don't care, it doesn't concern you, very soon it will also consume you. And so public education is going to be one of my things that I'm going to do. From now, I'm using this medium also to send out that signal to everybody. Those of our people who are outside shouldn't think that they are far away from us, so they wouldn't. They should also talk to their people at home. Communication is very important. They shouldn't always be selling them a bunyanya na la jockey pe because they sound bad it. Si let's update, let's zurute betebeza, nete bala pete babe te bunyanya ni kepe. Hemna lini ibotolemi, mnaze pe igbele ni nite se is betchen mlolosli mnaga pona ni kepa. But gubenu gane pasu. Doso mnala mnalini ibotolemi, mnachomele boyusli libokaka glali ba kepa kwe. Thank God we have internet. Thank God we have online IT, online activities. Thank God we have WhatsApp. Thank God we have phones that we always use. Poho onia hwanke pa di bele aglenu gossip. Mlakoze bdek blokti. Mletes bala bali kepe bepe. So development associations are pete balene ke party panoto bale nyokwi ono gibe beko du not on bale pen kwi be kakage oni abite kwi le pen ba base le banti. Being on the throne for 10 years has taught me a lot of things. But the greatest that being on the throne has taught me is the belief in God and the trust in Jesus Christ. That evil will never, ever triumph over good and love. Love each other. Take that responsibility that you want to care. Protect our culture. Our culture is us. Hemunsi kujeblo ikole kokiji isui. Also, on kaka o collector basile ya collector ni blo ikole bola me bla kuze dosile blo huen blo bla kunu ikola ba kudi dia beza kwansa aklamane babenu babuneti ya koku babu amanoni ifone. It's a colonial mentality, and we should resist it with the strongest strength that God has given to us as the people of Africa, because we are unique. Our pigment is different from all other pigments. You can't see it anywhere. Peter Tosh says that if you're a black man, wherever you stay in the world, you are an African. So I'm using this medium to encourage all the black men and women and children. Tell your children that you are from Africa. Maybe you was here, unadona mijope, waka adona, maybe you soon for unado, but no for adona, that was unada mijope. Of course, that is a good sign that you want to prove that you are part of Avatime. It is important. I hope you're not going to edit this thing out. And you're not going to say what I said. So thank you so much for that opportunity. Bushfires are real problems for us. And so my stool father and some elders in Avatime are discouraged from planting cocoa, for instance. You know, because every year that they plant cocoa, then bushfires destroy them. Those of us who are angels, I won't say angels, I want to say angels of bushfire. Those of you who are agents of bushfire, please, let me use this opportunity to plead with you that think about the next person. My vision for Avatime is to have a vision, happy people, where everybody will be each other's keeper, whilst protecting each other. You know, and that will be form the basis of the development of Avatime. And I'm calling on all friends and lovers of Avatime through GO TV right? You know there's GO TV somewhere. So what is your name?
GOSA.
GOSA TV. So I'm calling on the viewers of GOSA TV to support. The team is asking us to like the GOSA TV. Please. I know there are more than 1,000 Avatime citizens all over the world, outside Ghana. There are more than that. Go and like it and let us promote our indigenous initiative. If we don't do it, who will do it for us? Also, who wanted to ask George no, that is wickedness, the highest degree. When your friend or your neighbor is climbing the tree, push him up so that when he gets there, he can also lift you up. That is a popular African saying. But don't pull him down. That is a bit of the African person. Block it, don't integrate in school person. Blunimino otre, being batch and the little so a gloss of Volta region, all troton. He block the kid to Volta region all troton. And se blow, give for a baby, blow Kijisukuasano. Kupasi call a pound. We are all over the place in the Volta region. And there is a theory that says that there are more Eves in West Africa than all the other tribes. And that's, I want to believe that. Because even in Ghana, there are more Eves in Ghana. You can find Eves all over the place, as far as to Fernando Po, the southwest of Africa. So we are all over the place. Why do we have to fear? But because we are not united. Don't seek each other's interest. That's how we find ourselves here. The revolution has started. From what has happened in the last few weeks, in the last few months, about comments by some people who are the heavy people, the revolution has started. I'm not calling for it. I'm only sounding a note that we need to come together as a people. Block it, donation, and sukuba. En se bloco passé bloni babwan ni batragban ani kutrumana ni bala pete passé ni o ani kutrumana babwan batragban ani ko passé ni be yimba kusi bloco passé ati abla region vuvon la guerre be de bloco kunu minority aha lolo so ya hia. So tragbe unugbe ni kedone anogboin se kuzeba notuli to bloche kuzeni sugla leme to luete bloche kia have block tolo block enclave this big person ni kejame sante luete mo le petele ki le funeli ku blo so ko le pan block ya seni ibodoleme enso no we se le funse bia ba no aye gia mano se panesite mesi le we se ni was ya sesu ku jagba si ku muni bi mu come Avatime organic mountain brown rice po bloto tolo ne ke dame ati ku iye kususu ko lo a egelo so ni silizete amuna bla kabe dononi no be dorere be ko maniati hebe ki sola he ki ngala liwele to kuko ifona do see give jobs to the women and the youth ni amuna ko so oh bata be do se ba agbolis be de bata se dolis be de ati ono kaka eto agbede be itoli pourquoi ku bite identity ku ki ke donne identity ainsi que les kala ke tiabla to ku brand blow Avatime mountain brown rice here aussi Guinness clear Guinness update and whiskey bar pe de me he busy well brand able inte place ku bite blow ainsi ego mune de temps peut-être ko gandi wo he nya fait prostrate ala so alo wa ze gagla ho pop bi pan
Billy unique. Hegi wodi ma dosi Ghana pepe Avatime ko wa mo bimuko onene eto bimuko alobe ge bimuko ni okoko ni Ghana pepe.
Ba bidon ba lo pepe.
Yes.
Omo ensi ba ikolele lo. Le barame. Klegi block is a blina bi se ge bimuko meni se adoela no binyati. Akpafone and likpeone and lulubione ba pete ba tibite. Ba tibite. Technology la bounce could improve. That is why we have to improve and make bimuko an international dish. Yes. People will want to come and enjoy it because it's nutritious, very nice. Yes. But our own people are discouraging themselves. So ego muna is very tedious. What did they? Oh, now we all man block ele as ku moke to kaka easy. Asi to afifiane na dunu. Inte besi block achichi Adam. So who to afifie who tagele uranga. Loso jagba to tagele so sami ko who ke betrone o rela ba wote onta nulesi. Po so po bite boboy ke di bobo ko bia zo kama. Lelo so bana beto so ego muna kusoso kui bite diate ma pesi beso mlosi. Inte ko les hebla cabeza sola. Meche maza sola na hamesundi. Yes, family sin maza sola. Money, pas me cabeza sola money. Oso meta mona so. Ma wa hwana remeti ma pesi bi jonyo me po mon monopoly. Because that is my passion. I earlier told you that I like nature. So farming is my passion. The last time I posted a picture on my WhatsApp page about me planting cocoa seedlings, and it generated a lot of discussions. And I liked one comment that person, Edem Ava, coming from Biakba, because we stayed together in Amesu. That is a guy's passion. That's what he said. Yes. He knew me, the teacher was a head teacher, and the father was a head teacher. My father was the chief of the village and a farm. And every morning, Saturdays, or even during break time, whilst we were in primary school and middle school, we would close from school and go to the farm and bring the produce before we could cook and eat and go to the second session of the school. That was our life. People will hear it today and think that it's a story. No. We're doing it because you came back home from school at 12:30, your parents were not there, will not be there. And so they will leave an instruction. So you had no other option than to, at times you go even to the farm in your school uniform, than to trek to the farm, go and pick the food stuff, come with firewood, come and start fire within the period of 1.5 hours that you are supposed to be on break, because by 1:30 you are going back to school in the afternoon. And you do all those things within that period before you went back to school. Most of the time, 60% of the time, we went hungry in the afternoon because we couldn't meet the time. By the time that we start finishing the food, bang, 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 on your day, you see, back school, 1 o'clock. And if you didn't go to school on time, the teacher was there to cane you, to lash you, 6. You know, so that was the interesting life in our youth. When you ask who was Felix Kwame Adobo, that was Kwame Adobo at the time before I went to university. And when I went to the university on a middle school, secondary school, that habit did not lose out on me, no. Because any time that we vacated my trunk, I say trunk, chop box. At times it's not even a chop box because we have to leave the boxes at school. There was something we call haversack. Have you heard of it before? No. You see, haversack made of straw. We have to, I mean, it's a small thing, but if you pack your things, it will continue expanding. Then we took our haversack at the back, like Rasta men, and trekked back to the village. And as soon as I landed in the village, put my haversack down, took my cutlass off. If there was a cutlass or a hoe, at times it was my father's cutlass that I would go and borrow in the village. So that is out. So it is important for us to look at our tradition and culture as far as our food is concerned. We're talking about brown rice. Yes. You know, so that bimukome should be an international dish. Hemusi hotel apetek balini kidamiate guest houses are. Make it a point that the first thing that a visitor, a client will come to take when he or she comes to your place is sekpase. What is sekpase? Or a bimukome bala bizeku hojogwe. Banuva no sekpase because it's finer than the adult one. Okay. Because that used to replace the lactogen that as they call it sekpase for young babies when they are weaning them out of their mother's breast. That's what they do, sekpase. So the guest houses and the hotels in Avatime try and serve traditional breakfast. Jogwe, kimimia jogwe, amuna jogwe, kiba. And it is tasty and nutritious. Give them lunch with bimukon. And if you want to bring some varieties, then your wachi, because our brown rice, mountain brown rice, is good for wachi. And a toiler. If you did that, or you do that, you are giving our farmers job. Because if they know that there's market for the brown rice, why do people complain that the rice farming is difficult? Also, Antonia, Rapa, Asari, Love available. Sports, the footballers need jogwe. They need the brown rice. They need the bimokome because it builds them up. In addition to the mountain keep beef that you get there, when they finish keep by jogwe, jamuna tomla call it about the kukuye kuno jogwe turkey or footballers are ni babia bala. It should be their regular breakfast. It should be their regular process. Administrator, I'm challenging you that you should, from tomorrow, they are not in school anyway, but begin to pile down brown rice. And it's not all the brown rice that is good for that. It is the one that is grown in Avatime, called the upland mountain brown rice. That is the one that lasts. Because all the other rice that you, when you put the jobo down, by evening time, it becomes water. But our amuna, as a gomuna, is the one that we are trying to promote by the Amu Fest that we are celebrating every year.
Viewers, that was Osie Adza Tekpor VII, the paramount chief of Avatime traditional area. My name is Antonia Krapa once again. I thank you for watching and keep watching GOSA GH TV. Subscribe GOSA GH TV for more videos. Thank you.